Let's talk way too early starting pitcher ranks up next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. Today is Tuesday, December 13th. I am Frank Sample, joined by Scott White, and let's start with Scott's top 5 for 2023, which includes Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Corbin Burnes, Sandy Alcantara, and Garrett Cole. Scott, I think if you talk to people around the industry, Burnes, Alcantara, Cole, they'll be in most people's top 5. Verlander and Scherzer, you might have to defend those.
Yeah, I'm sorry it has to be this way, but it does appear to be this way. I'll point out, first of all, like Justin Verlander was the top pitcher, at least in 5x5 leagues last year, led the majors in ERA, led the majors in WHIP. So it shouldn't be that hard of a case to make for Verlander 1 overall. I think the hesitance with most people is just they old, Verlander 40, Scherzer 38, right, going into next year. And I get that. Normally, those are scary ages regardless of position. But I think this is the one position, particularly if they show no signs of slowing down, where I'm not that worried about age. Or there's certainly other risk factors I could come up with that rank higher for me than age. The age in Verlander and Scherzer's case shows that they've proven their longevity over and over and over again, and I can trust them to show up and do what they do more than I can say Shane McCalanah, who hasn't even gotten to 170 innings before and faded last September. So, that's mainly what I'm looking at when I'm making out these rankings. There are a ton of pitchers that you could make an argument to take number 1. I just want the guy I feel best about, even if I'm not if I'm not splitting hairs and supremely confident, okay, he will be the absolute best, I feel confident he's going to be among the best at the end. Plus, I'm very likely to take my number 1 overall pitcher anyway, because I'm not taking pitchers that early this year.
Scott, are you sure that you're still a Braves fan? Because you got 2 Mets up there, 1 and 2, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's the way it be.
6 through 10 in your starting pitcher ranks, we see Jacob deGrom, Shane McClanahan, Brandon Woodruff, Zach Wheeler, and Aaron Nola. Jacob deGrom now with the Texas Rangers. We know on a per inning basis, when he pitches, he is the best pitcher on the planet. He just has not pitched very much over the past 3 years or so.
Yep.
Shane McClanahan, I don't want to say it's a similar situation because he did deal with one injury last year with the shoulder, kind of connected to his neck as well. On a per inning basis, I mean, he was, one of, if not the best pitcher in baseball last year as well. So pretty interesting with those two. High risk, but huge reward with potentially Jacob deGrom or Shane McClanahan.
Yeah. Yeah, and so that's why I rank them similarly, right? I mean, I obviously feel more confident in how good Jacob deGrom is going to be, but I have very little confidence in how much he's going to show up. McClanahan, I have a little more confidence in how much he's going to show up, but less confidence in how good he's going to be. I think the underlying numbers for McClanahan, just like the raw skill indicators, are very high. And if you could guarantee me full health, 200 innings for Shane McClanahan, he'd be my number 1 starting pitcher in fantasy. But there are a lot of question marks there. When I look at the risk factors for him versus some in the previous group, I see more red flags for McClanahan. And so that causes me to drop him to 7th overall. There is a point where I'd take him, but I imagine he's going to be taken before that point comes.
Let's get into the double-digit rankings, 11 through 15. We see Carlos Rodon, Dylan Cease, Shane Bieber, Alek Manoah, and Spencer Strider. Scott, let's focus on Spencer Strider here at 15. He's actually the SP7 off the board in early ADP. So it sounds like you're a little bit lower on him. But, man, another one on a per inning basis, 200 strikeouts over 130 innings this past season, the quickest to ever do it in Major League history. You just kind of worry, what is the workload like heading into year 2?
I mean, that's what it ultimately comes down to. He has to prove he can hold up to repeat viewings because he is just a 2-pitch pitcher. And he has to prove he can hold up over the course of a season. And Obviously, he wasn't in the rotation from the start of last season, so he didn't pile up the innings. But even the innings he did accumulate, it was a first for him. So he has to prove he could do it again. He has to show that he can do things workload. To be a true ace, Spencer Strider has to show he can do things workload-wise that I'm not willing to presume for any pitcher in the year 2023. And so that's why I rank him a little lower here. Of course, he has top 10 upside. He has top 5 upside. His 13.8 K per 9 was by far the most with any pitcher for any pitcher with 100 innings. 1.83 FIP, by far the best for any pitcher with at least 100 innings. But I'm looking more for 180 innings, if not 200. And that's what remains to be seen from Strider.
If you want to hear more about other starting pitchers, then you could do so on the full-length Fantasy Baseball Today podcast, which you can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. We'll be back again on Thursday morning. Bye-bye.